Okay, now we're going to Isaiah 41.
I got it. You can go ahead.
Okay. Verse 14, it says, "Do not be afraid, O worm Jacob, O little Yasharal, for I myself will help you, declares Yah, your Redeemer, the unique one of Yasharal. See, I will make you into a threshing sledge, new and sharp with many teeth. You will thresh the mountains and crush them, and reduce the hills to chaff. You will winnow them, and the wind will pick them up, and a gale will blow them away." This is talking about nations, because when we go back into our land, we got to fight. We got to kick out all those people that's in the land, so we're going to fight when we return. And it says, let me see, go to verse 20. Okay. Verse 16, "You will winnow them, and the wind will pick them up, and a gale will blow them away. But you will rejoice in Yahweh and honor in the unique one of Yasharal. The poor and the needy search for water, but there is none. Their tongues are parched with thirst. But I, Yah, will answer them. I, the all-powerful of Yasharal, will not forsake them. I will make rivers flow on barren heights and springs within the valleys. I will turn the desert into pools of water, and the parched ground into springs."
And what number are you on now?
That was number 18.
Okay.
And I'm in verse 19 now. "I will put in the desert the cedar and the acacia, the myrtle and the olives. I will set pines in the wasteland, the fir and the cypress together, so that my people will see and know and may consider and understand that the hand of Yah has done this, that the unique one of Yasharal has created it." Because now when you look over in the Sinai Peninsula, it's desert.
Right.
Ain't nothing over there. So this is what Yah saying, I'm going to cause that land to blossom. I'm going to plant trees there. It's going to be plenty of water there. If you go over there now, ain't nothing there.
Right.
But
That's not even on the map, really. They won't even name it.
So, yeah, so that's what y'all saying. Then you're going to know who it is that's doing this. Now let's go to 43, same book, Isaiah 43, 18 through 21.
Okay, I have it.
Okay, he says, "Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the desert and streams in the wasteland. The wild animals honor me, the jackals and the owls, because I provide water in the desert and streams in the wasteland to give drink to my people, my chosen, the people I formed for myself, that they may proclaim my praise." Now let's go to Jeremiah, which is the next book, chapter 31 and verse 1 and 2. Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 1 and verse 2.
All right. Ready.
Okay, and verse 1 reads on this wise, "At that time, declares Yah, I will be the all-powerful of all the clans of Yasharal, and they will be my people. This is what Yah says. The people who survive the sword will find favor in the desert." Talking about that secret place. "I will come to give rest to Yasharal. Yah appeared to us in the past, saying, I have favored you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with loving kindness. I will build you up again, and you will be rebuilt, O Virgin Yasharal. Again, you will take up the tambourine and go out to the dance with joy, and again be planted on the hills of Samaria. So Samaria is a part of our land. It's actually the northern part of our country. So that's what he's saying, once again, you're going to rejoice. I'm going to bring you back to your land, and you're going to once again rejoice like you used to. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 20, and we're going to pick it up at 32 through 38.
Go ahead.
Okay, verse 32. You say, we want to be like the nations, like the people of the world who serve wood and stone. But what you have in mind will never happen. This is what Yah is telling us as his people. You want to be like these people of the world, but it ain't going to ever happen. It's not going to happen. As surely as I live, declares Yah the Almighty, I will rule over you with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm and with outpoured wrath. I will bring you from the nations and gather you from the countries where you have been scattered with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm and with outpoured wrath. I will bring you into the desert of the nations, and there, face to face, will I execute judgment upon you. Because see, out there in the wilderness, it's the same thing. When he brought our people, our forefathers out of Egypt, he took them right out there in that same wilderness. And that was when he executed judgment on those who still wanted to rebel, those who still wanted to act like those Egyptians and do the same things that they were doing, worshiping idols and doing all these wicked things that our people have learned how to do by living amongst the people that they live amongst. So he's saying, I'm going to do the same thing I did with your forefathers. I'm going to do to y'all. When America's destroyed, you're going in that same place, and I'm going to plead with you right there. Because just like you said, only a remnant is going to enter back into the land. It's going to be a lot of us that leave up out of here, but only a remnant is going to return back to the land. And he gave you the number, 144,000.
So when it says, because in this book it says, I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there I will plead face to face with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's the part where you're saying, because you said something, you said, I will judge you. Is that, because I don't see it in here.
Well, that's what it says. It says, I will execute judgment upon you.
Okay, that's what your book says, because this one says, like, as, what is that 35 where it says, I will execute judgment?
Yeah.
Okay, because, 35 only says, in this book, I'm just saying in this book, it just says, and I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there I will plead with you face to face. But you're saying that's where he speaks about how he's going to execute judgment.
And after that face to face, it says, and I will execute judgment upon you. See, he says, I'm not going to execute judgment upon you in front of the nations, because they're going to say, oh, man, he took them people, he delivered them people out of America just to destroy them, just to cut them off. He couldn't do what he was going to do as far as bringing them back into their homeland and reestablishing them as prominent people like they once were, their ancestors were. So y'all said, no, I'm going to bring you out.
Oh,
but
check this out.
That secret place is where the judging is going to go down.
All right, check this out. I'm looking at two different versions here. And it's funny because like the international version and the King James version read two different things, which is, this is, I guess, as good of a point as any to point out some of the inconsistencies with, the quote-unquote King James version. But again, I'll read this again. The King James version says, and I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there I will plead with you face to face. And then the international is called the New International Version, actually says in 35, I will bring you into the desert of the nations, and there, face to face, I will execute judgment upon you. I just got to wonder why it's there's such a difference in in the way that things are worded.
I mean, just different translations, but then, a lot of, just like I say, you really have to go back Hebrew, because even what I'm reading to you, that's English, but in the Hebrew, it'll probably read a different way than what I'm reading to you in the English.
Right.
So it's just different translations of how they interpret it, and how they wanted to, how those that interpreted wanted it to read.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because that sounds manipulated. That's not even I mean, how do you? It just says we're going to plead to you face to face in the King James version, but here it says, no, I'm going to judge you.
Right.
That's a poor translation in my opinion, but okay.
Yeah, but that's the same thing. Just like you was asking me with those letters about Babylon, how I was giving you a reference to the Chaldeans, and it wasn't talking about the ancient Chaldeans; that it was talking about America.
Right.
So, yeah, that's what they do. They, through all those different versions of Scripture, those different translations, that's how they manipulate the word. And that's why you have so many different versions of the word.
Okay, so like as I pleaded, 36.
Okay. And it says, as I judge your fathers, okay, let me go all the way back so we can get this. Because, see, now we're talking about that duality again, and he makes reference to past and then now present. So he's talking about in the present, I will bring you into the desert of the nations, and there, face to face, I will execute judgment upon you, as I judge your fathers in the desert of the land of Egypt. So I will judge you, declares the Almighty Yah. I will take note of you as you pass under my rod. I will bring you into the bonds of the agreement. I will purge you of those who revolt and rebel against me. Although I bring them out of the land where they were living, yet they will not enter my land. Yet they will not enter the land of Yasharal. Then you will know that I am Yah. Everybody that go out there in that wilderness, that don't necessarily mean that you're going to enter the promised land. Because that out there in the wilderness is the purging place. That's the same place where the Ten Commandments was given, with the same thing that happened to our forefathers when they went into the wilderness. And when they came out of Egypt, it's the same thing that's going to happen to us. We're not just going to leave out of America and go straight into the land. No, we're going straight into that wilderness, because there is the purging place where Yah is going to cut off brothers and sisters that don't want to adhere to our culture. He's going to cut them off, because you can't go back into the land if you don't know the culture. You got to know the culture. You got to learn the regulations. You got to be able to follow the commands that our Father Yah has decreed. Because if you think you can go into his land doing everything that he said, look, if you're doing this, if you're doing that, I'm going to kill you right out there in the wilderness. In other words, just put it plain and simple. You're not going to be able to enter. And that's why he said out there in that wilderness, the same wilderness that I took your forefathers in when they came out of Egypt, that same wilderness, I'm going to go out there and do the same thing. Because all those that's going to follow me and keep my commands, all right, cool, stand on this side. All those that oppose me, your brothers are going to kill you. Simple as that. So that's why I said, everybody, he going to bring us out of this captivity, because that's what he swore to our forefather Abraham. But that don't mean that everybody that leave out of America or any of the other lands where our people dwell, that don't necessarily mean you're going to enter into the promised land. You might lose your life out there in the wilderness. So now let's go to Hosea, chapter 2, verse 14 and 15. Okay, it says, therefore, I am now going to allure her. I will lead her into the desert and speak tenderly to her. There I will give her back her vineyards, and I will make the valley of Achor a door for hope. There she will sing as in the days of her youth, as in the day she came up out of Egypt. In that day, declares Yah, you will call me my husband, You will no longer call me my master, Lord. You ain't going to call me Lord no more. You're going to call me my husband, Ayasha. Like what I call my husband now. I call him Ayasha. That's what y'all is saying. That's how you're going to address me. As this my husband. My creator is my husband. You're going to call me Ayasha. You're not going to call me Lord no more. Revelation chapter 3. See, this is what our people don't want to deal with. They don't want to deal with the culture. We want to take on the identity of the Hebrews, but we don't want to deal with the culture. And with the culture comes regulations. You can't do any and everything. It's ways that you have to walk, and it's ways that you have to carry yourself, because you are the vessel of the Almighty. You're bearing the vessel of the Almighty. You've been entrusted with his word. You know what he says, and you are a guide to those who are lost. But see, our people don't want to deal with it. They want to deal with America. Oh, we're going to be here. We got a black president. We finally going to be free. We finally going to rise up because he's going to stand up for us, and we're going to rule over these white folks in America. We're going to get some money. We're going to be living good. Nah, it ain't going down like that.
So go ahead.
President Obama getting ready to make it real to our people. He going to lift up his hand just like Pharaoh did. Make it hard for our people so y'all can go ahead and display his might in this nation.
And Pharaoh was an African.
Huh?
Pharaoh was an African.
Yeah. He was a son of Ham.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Okay. Revelation chapter 3 and verse 9 and 10. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, verse 9. It says, Behold, I will cause those of the synagogue of Satan who say that they are Jews and are not, but lie. Behold,
who are these people? Hold on. Who are these people who are not Jews, but they call themselves Jews and they lying? And why would they lie?
Ain't that Esau who we've been talking about? Our twin?
That's Esau. So when they call themselves Jews, they're lying. They're really, what's a Jew to them?
It's supposed to be short for the tribe of Yaquan, or the tribe of Judah, as they would say. They're trying to claim that they are us. They are the tribe of Judah.
So Judah is us? Oh, that's
yeah.
right. One of those 12. So Judah is us, but they're not really Jews.
Right. But so what they call themselves is Jews, short for what's supposed to be Judah, the tribe, right?
Okay, so when I say we're Jews, because I thought that's what, but Jews are Hebrews, really. They're not. No, let me rephrase that. They're not Hebrew. We're Hebrew, but they're trying to call themselves Jews, which is
right. They're trying to call themselves Hebrews, or as one, or the people of the tribe of Yaquata. But they don't say Judah or Yaquata. They just say Jews. That's what they call themselves, Jews.
So this is the Jews lying. Hold on.
Right. So that's what he's saying.
So
he says,
start over from there, 3:9.
Okay, verse 9, he says, Behold, I will cause those of the synagogue of Satan, check that out, he called them a synagogue of Satan, who say that they are Yaquatium. And I said Yaquatium, which is the same as saying Judah. Because they're talking about that they are from that tribe.
Well, you know what? Does it say Yaquata? Because here it says they claim to be Jews, though they are not. Does it say
Well, hold on. In this particular translation, they have Jews here, but in another translation, what we have, it actually says Yaquata. It doesn't say Jew.
Okay.
It actually says Yaquata in the Hebrew, not even Judah. It says Yaquata.
Okay, all right. Which is Yaquata spelled Jadah or something like that. How's that spelled?
Oh, how they spell Judah?
Well, I'm not saying how is Yaquata spelled. I mean, is that
Yaquata?
In our terms.
Okay, YAH.
But in what we would pronounce that as Judah, is that correct?
Okay, yeah, if you want to say it in English, it's pronounced Judah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Okay,
Judah.
so start from the top.
In the original Hebrew curse,
Uh-huh.
our tribal name is pronounced Yaquada. But since our book had been translated so many different times, first by the Greeks, then by the Roman Latin, and finally by these English Celtics, they don't messed up our tribal name, and so they use the term Jew or Judah.
I see.
We don't have a letter J in our letter system. So like I was saying, in the original Hebrew, our tribal name is pronounced Yaquada.
Okay.
But these Europeans, they don't translate our language and made up new letters. Now they say Judah or Jew.
Okay, I see. So, so we're back at chapter 3:9.
Okay, right. So let me start from the beginning. So now we know who he's talking about. He says, "Behold, I will cause those of the synagogues of Satan who say that they are Yaquada and are not, but lie. Behold, I will make them come and bow down at your feet, and to know that I have favored you, because you have kept the word of my patience. I also will keep you from the hour of testing, that hour which is about to come upon the whole world to test those who dwell on the earth." That's where the man of sin who's going to come up. And when we were talking about earlier, when I read about it's only going to be two people on the face of the earth, the 144,000 that's sealed, and the rest of the nations, that this man of sin going to come up and make them take that name, number, and mark.
Mm-hmm.
Antichrist,
which is considered the mark of the beast. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what y'all is saying right here. I'm going to keep you from that hour of testing that's getting ready to come and test every man and woman that lives on the face of this earth. The only people that's not going to be tested is us.
Okay, so this one is okay. So that verse basically is talking about how they lie, how they've lied about who they are, and how they're going to come to grips with that, and they're going to bow down.
To make it short, our twin brother been impersonating us for almost 2,000 years with the help of their allies, those Europeans.
Right.
They just impersonating us. They're the imposters, but y'all going to expose them as liars.
Right, and everybody going to know who the true Hebrews are. They going to know who the true Yaquadim are.
Got it.